ones that have, half an hour wait lines, or in Norman's case, hours of waiting. And I expect it to be the same for Andrew. We're going to be the first convention to ever use a virtual line system. So basically, you walk up to a kiosk, you'll give whoever's there your name and your cell phone number, and they'll enter you into this piece of software that'll put you in all the lines you want to be in. And then you can walk around in the convention, do whatever you want. And then at some point in the day, you're going to get a text message that says, hey, time to get in line. And you'll walk over to that actor. You'll get in line. You'll probably be somewhere about 30 to 50 people deep into the line. And you'll wait 10 to 20 minutes tops instead of hours. So it actually lets you enjoy the convention experience, meet some of the other actors who maybe don't have bigger lines.
Interact with the vendors and the convention floor. Because the vendors, they're thrilled because the way the convention is going to be lined up is the actors are going to be all on the outside of the convention hall, inside the convention hall, but on the outside walls of the halls where they're all lined up. And then in the middle is going to be where all the activity and vendors, et cetera, are going to be. You'll be able to, Georgia Reptile Society will have tarantulas and snakes and everything else there.
Legoland's doing
Legoland.
They're doing a master build of a zombie.
Right, they're doing a zombie master build on the floor, and the Medieval Times is going to have some knights there.
And our charitable partner, which is St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, they are actually bringing in this couple that was on like the Cake Boss competition, and they're doing a 6-foot replica of a zombie, but a cake. And then on Saturday afternoon, they have this contest you enter into, and you have to eat this zombie cake with no hands. So you got to actually eat it like a zombie. And then you'll...
It sounds like a dream I had once.
Right. But then I think it's like 12 people maybe. Well, inside this cake, there are prizes, and you can win. You can win like autographs from, Norman Reedus, or all sorts of really cool stuff. So there's going to be so much to do throughout the day.
But you know what, Jason? That's going to be the most amazing thing.
You and James.
You and Karen are going to be all 3 days. Probably we're going to have you hold up in the panel rooms the entire time. But
I know.
You're going to be there, and we're going to be there with you.
That's cool. And I really, really want to carve out an hour that we can all four and the other podcasters that we've got for the podcast panel to go to the hotel bar or something and just meet with some of our listeners. We haven't quite worked that out yet, but I really want to do that so that people who have heard about it through the podcasts will have a chance to hang out a bit.
Yeah, let's try to do that one of those nights. It'd be great. Friday night might work.
Yeah, I think Friday night might work. Okay, so this is that was great, you guys. Every time you talk about it, I just get more excited about it. And it's Walker Stalker Con. It's November 1st through 3rd in Atlanta. If you guys want to get tickets or find out more, go to walkerstalkercon.com for information. In just a minute after this, we're going to announce who won the 2 VIP tickets for this contest that we just had. But for now, is there anything else that you guys want to say about it?
You want to tell them that the Andrew tickets are...
Yeah, Andrew Lincoln individual photo ops are actually sold out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they sold out within 24 hours. However, you can still get one, but we put half of them where anybody could buy them, but then we put the other half into the Andrew Lincoln VIP pass, which is just like the Norman one.
So you get those VIP passes, then you have better access to that person.
Yes, you do. You do. It takes you like 10 minutes. You'll get you'll get an assigned time of the day to come get in line. It'll take like 10, 15 minutes to come meet him. And in that VIP pass is included your autograph and your photograph.
And I just got a photo. I went to the Star Trek convention and I got a photo op with for DS9 fans, the 2 women who played Dax. And it was like a sandwich. But anyway, it was really cool because...
but it was your kind of sandwich.
Yeah. And it was this beautifully done professional photograph with this nice backdrop and everything. And I have it now. It's an 8x10. So it's really cool to have that.
Very nice. Now, there's some other photo ops too. That you got to talk about these.
You've got the Denai and her Michonne and her 2 pet photo op.
No way.
Yes, on Sunday. You've got, of course, the ultimate photo, which is 14 cast members, 14 main cast members from the
including Andrew Lincoln,
Andrew Lincoln, Norman,
everybody.
And then you've got, of course, if you're into that whole Michonne. Andrea friendship, you can do that photo op.
Get a
too.
sandwich.
There you go. They're Melissa McBride and Madison Lentz are doing a mother-daughter one on
Nice.
Saturday.
Are we doing a Grimes family photo?
Ooh.
It's a big question. People are asking, so
yes.
we should just answer.
We are doing a
So
Grimes family
cool.
photo.
That's cool.
However, it is extremely limited. I'm talking, I think, maybe 30 to 50 tops.
Okay. That's kind of something I've been asking
Yes,
James to do.
there is a Grimes family photo.
Cool.
And anybody's welcome to steal this, but I totally envision like Andrew and Chandler kind of sitting there in the photo like they normally do, and then me like holding Sarah, and like Andrew and Chandler like with their arms like just folded in frustration.
Like you guys in an embrace, like
Yes.
nice.
Okay, well, let's do it. Let's do it. That sounds great.
Cool. Okay, well, again, it's amazing, and I can't wait to be there. And I'm going to spend all the time up until then preparing myself for these panels and everything. But it's going to be a ton of fun.
Well, you're awesome, Jason. Thanks for your and Karen's support, and we can't wait to see you guys
And
in a couple
actually
weeks.
see what Karen looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
She's
We know
wearing
what
a
you
mask the whole time, I'm telling you. Okay, guys, thanks for coming on and talking about it. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Jason.
All right, see you soon.
Bye.
Okay, thank you to James and Eric. And I want to, as I mentioned, announce the winner of the 2 VIP tickets to the convention. I asked you guys to tweet why you were excited to go to the convention. Then we have a bunch of names here, and I'm going to draw one. I think this is our best contest yet, by the way.
Yeah,
Because-
I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, the winner of this gets to go hang out with everybody from The Walking Dead. That's
It's
freaking
pretty
rad. So I'm shuffling
And
through
us.
these. And us too. And Gracie Lou and Mr. Blog. Okay. The winner is James Crowder, also known as @JamesATL1985.
Congratulations, James.
Yeah, and I guess
done.
he's in Atlanta based on his Twitter handle, JamesATL.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Good.
I'm picturing James listening to this and jumping up and down, right?
Like on Price is Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, let's move along to listener moans, groans, and grunts. Got some emails, some calls. You want to go first?
Sure. This first one comes from Jeff, who writes, "It's raining undead men. Hallelujah." That song went through my brain so many times after seeing that show. I thought it was a great scene that really stood out from previous Walker attacks. My only criticism would be that you knew Zach was a goner when he tried to get Beth to say goodbye earlier. Serves him right. You stay away from Doodlebug, you hooligan. I was really surprised to see Carol's knife wielding 101 wasn't official curriculum. Guess I never realized from the promos just how young the students were. I was looking forward to the inevitable scenes of the kids stabbing their named Walker pets, apologizing while they do it. Sorry, Ned. I added that last bit.
Awesome.
And he goes on to say, "Pig virus, the bleeding-eyed walkers are disturbing as hell, but they're nothing compared to that horrible suit Scott Gimple was wearing on The Talking Dead. Sorry, Pookie." You know what? His suit wasn't so bad. Stop. He had skulls on his tie. It was kind of cute. Overall, a good start to the season. I was a little concerned about the new, all the new faces, but it looks like it's going to not be a concern after next week.
Because they'll all be gone.
Because they'll all be gone. Thanks for writing.
This one's from Alex. "I really loved this episode. I thought that if someone were to ask me what is The Walking Dead about, I would show them this episode." I feel like that too. I felt like it was definitive in that it showed all the elements that make this show so great. Season 3's premiere was heavy with action, and this one had a great set piece with the walkers falling through the ceiling, but what this premiere had that the other didn't was great focus on character. Everyone had a small moment, and I loved it. I feel like we got all caught up, and we can just jump right back into the thick of it. The cannibal lady was super scary, and I'm glad we never have to see her again.
Agreed. She had that skinky long hair where you could just basically see her big eyes.
Greasy, yeah. And she talked like this.
Yeah, it was weird, right?
Yeah.
I think they meant to have her be Irish, but
Yeah. She did have somewhat of an accent.
And if she's Irish, she wouldn't be going to Puerto Vallarta. She'd be going down to like the Canary Islands. Come on. Okay, this next one comes from Natalie, who writes, I'm glad to see Carl acting significantly less like a sociopath from when we last saw him, and it looks like his relationship with Rick has greatly improved. I thought it was sort of cute how Carl is clearly enjoying having some normal kid moments, even if he won't admit it. Like when he gets super excited at the new comic books, but scoffs at the notion of story time.
I agree with that. I hadn't really thought about it until now, but it was nice to see him being a little more kid-like again.
Yeah, and I like that he and Michonne have kind of like a little comic reading group together. Mm-hmm. On a different note, when will Tyrese nut up? I get that he's sensitive, but maybe that's the reason his younger sister is always the boss of him. He just seems that way, way too much of a people pleaser. I am just wondering if he will ever become the badass he is in the comic.
See, there's just this. I hear what you're saying, and I kind of don't have that much respect for him the way he is now. I have some, but. I also, there's just, people want everyone in the show to be a badass, all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we need some non-badass type people.
But they also, I see what Natalie's point is too about making him consistent with how he is in the comic.
I see that too, but I also know that Kirkman likes to change things up a lot. But to be fair, I think that probably they're making him kind of wimpy so that he'll have somewhere to go.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll have somewhere to go. I think he will turn into that character. From John, I go to a small Midwest university and I never thought this would happen to me. Wait, wrong letter.
Wow, boom, boom. Go on.
That's the wrong letter. I would like to cover 2 points off your most recent podcast. 1, the skeletons done by Ray Harryhausen did in the Sinbad movie still get under my skin, not to the point of clasping my cloth mother and hiding behind the couch, but there is quality to the work that will never be covered by CG, a different art form from then what we now have in the digital age. Yeah, I think in Walking Dead they do plenty of non-CG stuff too, though, which is nice.
Is he referring to the passing of Ray Harryhausen? And we sort of did I talked a little bit about how much I loved his stuff and how scary it was.
Yeah. Yep, call back. And then number 2, I know where all the succubuses are. They have been imprisoned in the various fantasy murals by Ed Beard Jr., Succubus Hunter, on countless vans in the 70s. Children's have the most pure vision, which explains why as a young child in the 70s I kept my distance from said vans and the upper class of society that drove them. I used to seek out those vans, but anyway, dark times are ahead. As the 70s iron and steel decompose into rust, the succubus held prisoner will be released. I must prepare and practice my backwards singing. You think spinning all these albums backwards in the 70s was just for fun? Welcome to a larger world.
Oh, wow, John. That's not where I thought that letter was going.
I'd say that was poetic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well done. Marcy writes, in case you didn't know, the French series, The Returned, is going to start airing on the Sundance Channel on Halloween. I think you and Karen talked about the show on the podcast a while back, didn't you? Yes, we did.
Yeah, cool.
We were wondering when we'd see it. Mm-hmm. So that is fantastic. Too bad I'm going to be at the conference that weekend.
You can watch it in your hotel
David
room.
Will record it for me.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us know.
There's like a book and a couple of shows, and it's not clear which is based on what, but this will be the first show out that we get to see. And I think there's a British version, and then there's also going to be on ABC a US version next spring.
Wow, that's great.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully at least one of those will be good.
Thank you, Marcy.
From Ryan, first let me start off with a gripe. The helicopter crashing through the roof scene was out of place for the show. I'm sorry, but I laughed out loud watching Daryl running towards the camera with the explosion in the background. I expect to see this scene in Die Hard or any Sylvester Stallone movie that doesn't have Rocky in the title. But The Walking Dead? I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It looked
sorry,
like,
Ryan.
Yeah, sorry. No, I mean, there was a helicopter in the roof and it crashed through.
Yeah.
So should it have just like gently crashed through because it's The Walking Dead?
Or that he should have been walking towards the camera and not running towards the camera. I don't know. He started to see that the roof was giving in, and and I don't know.
Granted, if they did this every episode or often, and there were suddenly more explosions, then it wouldn't be The Walking Dead. But I think every once in a while, I mean, the CDC did explode in season 1, by the way.
Yep, that was a good one.
Which was lame. Yeah. Okay. So this next email, which is, I'll let you read, but I want to preface it, is actually from Scott Gimple, because I wrote to him saying I liked the episode and I thought it did a great job of introducing all the new characters and situations while still being an entertaining episode in its own right. And he replied,
it was sort of like juggling chainsaws, but I'm very grateful that people dug it and can get what we're laying down. Thank you for this, sir. SMG. No way. Did Scott Gimple really reply?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Cool, huh?
Yeah, thanks for writing, Scott M. Gimple. I mean, the actual Scott M. Gimple. We've been sort of joking that Scott M. Gimple's
not
been writing
Scott,
to us.
not Gimple.
Not Scott, not Gimple, but actually Scott M. Gimple.
Yeah.
Like juggling chainsaws. Hopefully he means chainsaws that are actually working while you're juggling them, in motion. I'm grateful that people dug it and can get what we're laying down. Man, he's got the groovy lingo.
I know he does. Yeah.
I love it. He's great.
I think he's into comics. He's very geeky, but he borders on that hipsterism maybe, or I don't know. I didn't watch Talking Dead. Did you? You did.
I did. And by the way, I thought he was really, really funny on The Talking Dead. Yeah. I mean, as an example, Chris Hardwick asked him about the pigs and Patrick dying. I think that's what it was. And he said, are we detecting a pattern here? And Gimple replied, only thematically. And nobody laughed. I was cracking up, and so was David. And nobody else was. They just kind of blew over that and went on. And I'm like, did nobody listen to that? And by the way, Nathan Fillion was on too, and he was brilliant.
He was fabulous.
And as Scott Hardwick pointed out, that Nathan Fillion is better looking and smarter than all of us. Yeah.
I every time I see Nathan Fillion now, I just feel heartache because they didn't do more Firefly.
Yeah, but we had him. Luckily, we had him as Captain Hammer. So was it Captain Hammer?
What?
Yeah. Didn't you ever see the
Dr. Horrible?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's
Sing along blog.
Yeah, he needs to do something else besides Castle. Okay, let's get into the back and forth. These are just quick impressions of the episode. I'll go first.
Okay.
Andrea says, I fear that Michonne's obsession for the governor's blood may lead to her death, but I'm staying positive that they won't kill that badass just yet. Also, there seemed to be a little chemistry with Rick in the beginning of the episode. I, for one, would love to see those two hook up. They would be a formidable couple faux show.
Gracie Lou writes, this one didn't really do it for me. The whole Rick subplot should have been scrapped. The Daryl worshipping was annoying rather than funny, and I don't care much for Farmer Rick. Although I doubt that phrase will last too long. I realize they had a lot of ground to cover, but I wish it had been done differently. I imagine it will go up from here, but I'd hope for a stronger start.
Thanks, Gracie. You're wrong, but thanks. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody has their opinions. Craig says, pay attention to Patrick at the end of the episode. Then one particular walker in the beginning noticed something in common. When I read that, I didn't know what he was talking about, but now that you mentioned it, they're bleeding from the eyes, huh?
Yep, they are. Or the orifices. All the orifices seem to be bleeding out. But yeah, that was, you can really tell they zoomed in and they paid attention to that zombie at the beginning. That good spot, Craig. Tracy writes, me and my friend were discussing the incident with the pig and Patrick. Perhaps the zombie virus is becoming airborne, or maybe something ordinary akin to the Spanish flu or malaria that they can't treat because of lack of modern medicine. Either way, can't wait to find out.
And I hope we do.
Yeah.
Natalie says, is Daryl going to catch whatever Patrick came down with? He shook hands with him.
He licked his fingers and then shook hands. Jerry writes, Beth's boyfriend had a bad habit of getting chomped. Beth's boyfriends have a bad habit of getting chomped. Wait, who was Beth's other boyfriend who got chomped?
In season 2, the guy who got chomped in the van.
Yeah, the van.
In the RV, I mean.
Right.
Yeah, James.
Right, and you were really close to him when he got chomped, right?
I was, yeah.
You might have been right there chomping him.
I was jealous and hungry. Charlie says, I just want to go on record with Jason, who wasn't crazy about my idea when I mentioned and complained about it last season, that the writers must, for the sake of making the show seem real, have the virus mutate. I said that this would be a major plot point that needs to drive the group dynamic into another direction. Karen was okay with it, but I distinctly remember Jason not being at all into it. So to you, Jason, I say you're absolutely right. So there. I loved it.
Oh, Charlie.
Yeah, you're right. I remember not being too hot on that, but I tip my hat to you, madam. She also says, I love the 3 questions. I'll be asking those very same questions on dates from now on. That's good.
You know, did anyone else think of the was it The Life of Brian? Or no, it was
Monty Python. Yeah, we made a joke about that last time. What's your favorite color? Blue. No, red.
No, blue. Answer me these questions 3. Gene writes, a bit boring, but I'm sure it will get better.
Evan says, I sort of wish they would not attempt big CGI. They just don't do it that well. I thought the CDC explosion was bad, and last night's helo falling through the roof did not impress me either. I vacillate on that. Like, if they can't do it to the standards of today's big budget movies, which they can't, then should they not do anything at all? Or would we rather that they do what they do? I
vote go ahead and do it because I like it, but I can see where people who know what these, sort of, watch it a little closer.
I mean, I know, I saw, I was like, you can see that there's a lot of CG going on there, but anyway. Okay.
Aaron writes 4.84859356 brains.
Why not 4.84859359 brains, Aaron?
It just didn't have that. It was the CG. That's what it cost. That's what cost that extra little fraction.
Pete Ilani says, going from season 3 to 4 made me think of the opening scene of The Wizard of Oz. That film starts in black and white, a blah and drab life portrayal. Once Dorothy gets to Oz, everything is bright, colorful, and exciting. The Walking Dead's opening shot showed colorfully painted planters and lovely green gardens / crops. The show started out so light and almost playful, I was waiting on the edge of my couch for the shoe to drop, or the zombies to drop, as it turned out. Zombie kill of the week, Sasha improvising with a pool cue, solar plexus strike, pause, and thrust up through the eye. # like a boss.
Yeah, you know what? Sasha's kind of good with the zombie kills like Andrea was.
I like that she's on the council. She's obviously very confident. She's dominant. I'm interested to see what happens with her.
Yeah, I agree. And finally, Carol writes, I enjoy Gimple on The Talking Dead. Loved his tie. He seemed like a thoughtful, brainy, nerdy kind of guy. He may become my favorite showrunner. Almost wasn't going to watch the season as my most favorite season had been season 1, and then it seemed to go downhill from there. But tonight's episode was stellar, and I'm definitely in for the whole season. Good, Carol. Yeah. I'm glad.
Okay, we got only a couple of calls. I thought we'd get more calls. I was a little surprised, but this one is from Jordan. Oh, here we go.
Hey, Jason and Karen. This is Jordan, longtime listener, except I'm in New Zealand now. I was in Virginia. And I want to let you know that I just binge listened to the entire off-season collection of your podcasts over the past 2 days. Don't worry, it wasn't all in one day. I had a really long drive that I had to occupy my time on. And I did miss a lot, but I have nominated you for the podcast awards.
Thanks, Jordan.
And I wanted to let you know that I am buying the season pass on iTunes because I want to be able to participate in the live chats of your podcast. Because if I didn't, I would see it way too late because they showed on Tuesday night here, which is Monday night there, which is when the podcast airs, and it's a mess. So spending my hard-earned New Zealand dollars on participating in your podcast. Just wanted to let you know.
Sorry.
Have a good one, and don't get
mad. The first 7 minutes of this episode were recorded with a live audience.
Yep.
And not the rest.
Not the rest.
I just want to let you chatters know that I went out and bought a new computer that night. So next week, we're going to be good.
Yes, and our deepest apologies. But actually, it worked out. It worked out okay for me because just as I was leaving Jason's San Francisco home last night, I got a text from my husband who was at the hospital because he crushed his little finger. But he's okay. He's fine. We had a long night of waiting for X-rays. Blah blah blah. But anyway, I'm sorry that it didn't work out. But it will next week, and nobody is going to get crushed. And our technology is going to work.
Yes, and yeah, not somebody up there likes us. I know it.
Yes.
I posted that on Facebook, by the way, that David hurt his hand.
Oh, did you really?
People are saying, I hope David is okay, and I hope he's okay. I hope he's not hurt too bad. And then Victor Godoy says, "Damn it, David, you and your hand, just merle it and chop it off, and don't ever interrupt my dead cast again."
Oh, I love our listeners so much.
Yeah. Okay. So, wait, we have one more. Let's see. Okay. So actually, this isn't a call. Nico started saying, "I want The Walking Dead," and I don't know where the hell he got that, but I busted out my recorder. So here we go.
What do you want?
Walking Dead.
What?
Walking Dead.
You want Walking Dead?
Yeah.
What is Walking Dead? What is it?
I want an iPhone.
The Walking Dead is zombies. Rawr. Is that what you want?
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead is in a couple days. It plays on TV.
I want for TV. I want for TV.
That's it.
Oh, he's so cute. You know what? We should also say that Nico, who's 2 now? 2?
Yeah, 2, yeah.
2, his favorite show, inexplicably, is Doctor Who.
Yeah, he loves it. He has a man crush on Doctor Who.
He totally loves Doctor Who. And it's weird. Every time I'm over there, he's like, Doctor Who!
Doctor Who.
He's 2 years old.
Yeah, what's not to like?
He's definitely your child.
All right, that's it for all of your great feedback. Now we're moving on to a returning segment, Comic Talk. This is a segment done by our friend Jaden. He's going to tell you what the similarities and differences are from this episode and the comic. So if you don't want to hear comic book spoilers or things in the comic book that may come about in the show, then you should probably skip the segment. But we've gotten a lot of good feedback that this is interesting. One thing, as you might or might not know, I don't know if you knew this, Karen, but Jaden has autism.
I didn't know that.
He has autism, and he let me know that the group he supports is Autistic Self Advocacy Network at autisticadvocacy.org. Autisticadvocacy.org. He likes that group because it's run by other people with autism.
That's great.
So,
yay,
Jaden. And here's Jaden.
Hey there, Deadcast listeners. This is Jaden back for another season of Comic Talk. Nice to be back with you guys. First off, I have a new hairless kitten that is probably going to be purring through a lot of these segments for the time being. I can never get him out of my lap, but you guys will probably love him. His name's Dr. Zoidberg. He's pretty awesome. Anyway, on to the show. So 30 Days Without an Accident. I caught a lot of really cool things from the comic in this episode. Although I didn't see them on my first watch through, they're pretty subtle in some cases. First one I noticed was the farming in the prison. Herschel teaching Rick what to do was something that we touched on in the comic, although it was Herschel teaching Otis and Dale in the comic, if I remember correctly. Still, seeing it with Rick was pretty awesome because that's something they really need to all make sure they learn now, because you can't have just one person who knows that stuff. Another was stabbing the zombies through the fence. They didn't really have the big pile-ups in the comic version of the prison, though. That wasn't really around until we got to the hilltop. Another cool thing I saw was Tyrese being hooked up with someone. I think her name is Linda, the woman from Woodbury. Instead, in the comic, Tyrese actually hooks up with Carol. But since she's paired up with Daryl on the TV show, I understand them not wanting to tear that apart. It's kind of too awesome. Now, Bob Stuckey is in the TV show. Now, Bob in the comics is very slightly mentioned, but they fleshed out the character a lot in the Rise of the Governor novel series. He's an older white guy in that, Same thing, he was an old Army medic, but he's a raging alcoholic. I mean, the guy never shows up sober whatsoever. And they may have changed the character quite a bit for the TV show, but I like the throwback to the fact he was an alcoholic in the other version of the storyline. When he reaches for that bottle of wine and starts to put it in his jacket, I was like, hey, that's the Bob Stookie I know. Next thing we got is Carl getting comic books. Oh my god, this made me so excited. I was actually expecting to see them either being Science Dog or Invincible, Robert Kirkman's other series. And those are what Carl has read in the comic version. That said, I got a slight glimpse at the comics, and I'm almost positive that those were old issues of The Walking Dead. I recognize the title on a couple of the ones up at the top. That light blue with the black and white stuff behind it. I think that might even be issue number 1 or 2. Just something I thought some of you fans would enjoy. Now, the little comment when Michonne got back of Carl saying to Michonne when she got back, "You just got here, I'll be back." That was actually Rick in the comics making that exact line. And it was when he'd just gotten back from unburying Shane and shooting him, and right before they left to go check out the helicopter, which sent them to Woodbury. Now we've got the council in the TV show, as it's mentioned, and I like how they added Sasha to the council. In the comic, the council was only Dale, Herschel, Rick, and Tyrese, and it made it a point to point out that there are no women on the council, that none of them actually wanted to join. Now I love that bugs are being shown on the TV show now. I mean, granted, yeah, I'm the entomologist guy, I love my bugs, but I love showing that no matter what happens in the world, the bugs are going to be fine. We get a spider going about its business with no big deal, a bunch of ants clearing away a dead beetle. The bugs are thriving. That's pretty awesome. They really do rule the world when you think about it. Now we got Glenn and Maggie with a little bit of baby worries. This is really interesting because we just had Maggie give birth to Glenn's baby in the comic. So it's kind of nice to see them worrying about it for a change. I don't think they ever touched on that in the comics, if I remember right. Now we get some fun action in the Big Stop. And I thought it was really strange that Tyrese, on his first shot, made a headshot on a zombie. What the hell? This is Tyrese we're talking about. But then he missed 3 more shots at almost point-blank range, and I was like, okay, this is the Tyrese I remember. Tyrese cannot shoot. He will never learn it. Last thing of note, I just wanted to comment on Herschel's leg. In the comic, it was a wooden peg leg that someone had whittled for him. And in the TV show, it just looks like a found prosthetic they found while out on a run somewhere. And the cool little twist I just wanted to throw in the comic, if you didn't know, it was Dale that had the prosthetic leg, and it was actually Herschel that whittled it for him. So there's your fun fact for this week's Comic Talk. I'll talk to you guys next week. Don't get bit.
All right, thanks a lot, Jaden. And now we got another comic-related segment. This is a new one, brand new. It's called Under the Comic Covers with Gracie Lou and Mr. Blog. Kind of sexy. People have been asking us to review the comic as it comes out. And so that's what I've asked Gracie. I know Gracie Lou and Mr. Blog, they both love and read the comic, and they actually already talked to each other about it. So I thought it would be good to break things up with some fresh voices. And I just want to thank these guys for doing it. And they do it like we do. They don't recap the whole thing. They just talk about the issue. Of course, if you don't want to hear spoilers from the comic again, or even plot points that might potentially show up in the TV show at some point, then you can either cover your ears or skip this section. But if you have earphones in, then covering your ears probably won't help.
Won't really work, no.
So here we go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mr. Blog.
And I'm Grace, and in this episode we go under the comic covers of Walking Dead issue 115.
What started yesterday, what was just released, was issue 115, that begins a new story arc called All Out War. Anything you want to say about that?
Well, I loved it. I thought it was a great builder issue. I expected a lot of what was coming, but I still really liked it. Just so
Well, it's been gearing up for a while. Throughout a lot of the previous 6 months, it's been a bit of a standoff between Rick and the Alexandria Free Zone community and the Hilltop and the Kingdom, as they've all been gathering to get all their forces together to finally take out. Oh, here we go on the name. Is it Negan?
Negan.
Negan, that's how it's pronounced. Okay, so we're in agreement on that. I've been saying Negan, but I guess if Kirkman says Negan, we're going to say Negan. So by the way, what a stupid name. I got to throw that out there. That is just not a name that exists in nature or anywhere in reality. Do you know anyone named Negan?
I do not.
It's not a Southern thing, right?
No.
Okay. So this is finally it. All the tribes have been gathered and they're ready to go to war. So that's it. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to do a bit of a top 3 mirroring Jason and Karen's top 5. Why don't you start it off, Grace? What's your your number 3?
How about Michonne and Ezekiel? What do you think about that?
I loved it.
Now, I guess it wasn't unexpected. I think a lot of people were predicting that, but I have to say I really liked it. And that's a big thing for me to say because I was an Ezekiel and the Kingdom hater. I did not like them. I did not like him. I didn't like the Kingdom speak. But now I like him. The whole interaction with Michonne. I mean, he was so sweet and he was confident and he's a smart guy. And, Michonne's putting up the wall there and he sees it and he's going to work it. And it was great. I liked it.
I totally agree with you about Ezekiel. When we first met him, I thought, okay, this guy is ridiculous with his big dreadlocks and the over-the-top clothing and calling himself the Kingdom and Your Majesty and then the Tiger, for Christ's sake. Mm-hmm. You've got to be kidding me. A tiger in a zombie comic. That's stupid. But then, like you said, once he got with Michonne, we saw a softer side to him. And it was cool. I really liked him. And now in this episode, I keep saying episode, in this issue, he's very likable. I dig the guy, even in his ridiculous Star-Spangled shirt. It's fantastic. And that is, in fact, my number 3 was actually going to be the tender moments in this issue. And It seems like every time they do something big in The Walking Dead, whether it's the lead up to issue 100, my apologies for bringing that up, or other big issues or big happenings that happen, they always have these smaller, tender moments between individual characters. And in this one, we got quite a few. We get the opening with Rick and Andrea having a discussion about what war means and the fact they're going to be casualty. Probably my favorite tender moment was the ones between Carl, Rick, and Andrea there when Carl's kind of put in charge. But my number 1, as far as my number 3 is concerned, was in fact the tender moment between Ezekiel and Michonne. And specifically, I got to throw it out there because I absolutely loved it. Shiva, the stupid tiger, quote unquote, shitting in Michonne's bathtub was just amazing. I don't know, something about that I absolutely loved. I guess it's my extremely juvenile nature, but the idea of a tiger crapping in her tub.
Yeah, well, I thought the little banter back and forth between the two of them was very cute. When Michonne's like teasing him, calling him Your Majesty, and very good, very cute.
Well, and when she turns to him, she says, "This doesn't mean anything." She has a smile on her face, and whether we were talking about the TV show or the comic, look, Michonne is Michonne, and a smile is about as rare as the Hope Diamond. So that was pretty awesome. Your number 2.
Well, I think you've talked a little bit about it, but the Andrea and Rick and Carl, I mean, I thought this time, the little tender moments, and they seemed like a real family, I thought this time. Yeah. I really literally got choked up when the one panel when Andrea and Rick are they're both looking over their shoulder back at Carl. And I was like, they're a real family,
Yeah, he says, yeah. Andrea's telling him he's got it covered. Rick says, yeah. And then whispering in her ear, thank you.
Thank you.
So awesome. Yeah. That's great. I loved that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. It is a very good moment. And it's one that, I think Carl's always been he's been happy about the idea of Rick and Andrea together. I have personally been happy about Rick and Andrea together. It's just made sense, and I dig it. That was a great scene.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Good scene. And, I like that we're checking in with the characters before we're going off to this war. I needed that.
For sure. Now, I'm curious. Do you wonder about, okay, let's say, my apologies again about leading up to issue 100. And the reason why I keep saying my apologies for the listeners who don't know, Grace had an affinity for Glenn. And as you know, issue 100, Glenn was set out to pasture, as it were. and before that episode, you had all these tender moments between Rick and Michonne, or Rick and Andrea, or Glenn and Maggie, and all these things leading up to it. And you always have this sense of dread, like, oh, one of these people is not going to come back. Somebody's going to die.
Right.
And I definitely get that sense with this issue as well, that they're gearing us up to say, okay, somebody's going out. Who is it going to be? Who had the best moment? Oh, that terrifies me. I don't like that because I'm like, yeah, Michonne and Ezekiel had a great moment. And Michonne has lost every lover she has had in this entire series. We just met Ezekiel. Come on, man. Does that mean Michonne's going to go? No, I don't know. I'm nervous. Okay.
Yeah.
My number 2. Let's get past that.
Go ahead.
My number 2 is Rick's Independence Day speech. I love that, where he stands at the back of the truck and he's speaking to the people of the Alexandria Free Zone. And I think there's some other people. I know Jesus is standing there. I can see that. And he's giving his big speech. And I just think that's awesome. I love Rick. I love Rick when he's at his strongest, when he puts on the front, as we now know it is a front. He's nervous and he's scared, as anybody should be. But he's being strong for the people.
Right.
He's standing there giving the big spiel and the big speech and the fact that, he doesn't know how it's going to end. And none of us are soldiers, but until this is over, let's keep that to ourselves. That's just fantastic.
It was. I love the 2-page spread, that one and the other one. I was studying both of them and looking at all the characters, and it was, picking out the characters from like behind in that one you're talking about. Yep. I feel like I know them. I'm like, oh, that's Olivia's hair, and what there was.
So that was actually going to be my number 1. Was that 2-page spread of them laid out
lined up.
Lined up, and I was doing the same thing. I'm looking like, okay, there's Holly, and there's Cal, and there's Jesus, and Heath, and
and Eric.
I like that. Eric and Aaron are there, and Michonne is the only one with the katana, which is just badass and awesome. And Ezekiel there. Love it. Absolutely love it. What was your number 1?
Gregory.
What a coward. What an ass.
Oh, and I was so surprised. That little twist, I did not expect it. My mouth, I think, looked like Jesus when he's like, what the, oh.
Yeah. Now you read it, you read the actual comic itself, right? The paper?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is the one comic I do get digitally because I just don't want to wait. I don't even want to bother going to the comic book store. I went later that day, yesterday, to get some other comics, but I get it digitally. And I usually will read it at work right when it comes out because it's during the day. And I'm reading it on my phone the first time. I'll read it on the iPad later, and I'm reading it on my phone. So I get only individual panels. So when Negan says, I have a different plan, and the next panel I see is Jesus saying, oh, what the fuck? Oh. And then I saw Gregory. It had such a great effect on me, as opposed to seeing it on the one page with, oh, what the fuck, and then you see Gregory right below. To have it be the next, it was a great shock for me, and I didn't expect it in any way, shape, or form.
I did not either.
So fantastic. And the fact that Gregory is sitting here saying that all your families are going to be kicked out, people are going to be killed, and blah. It's like, oh my God. But at the same time, he's saying that the hilltop is standing. The funny thing about this, though, and why I think it's not necessarily going to work, is Jesus has a bunch of the hilltop people behind him right now, and they should already be in position. So I don't know if this means that his people are no longer in position like he thinks they are, or it's just a threat that if they fail, they're going to be kicked out. Because, I mean, if they're going in, what difference does it make whether or not this threat is over their head? They're going in to take out Negan.
Well,
it shouldn't even matter.
I was assuming that, the people right behind Jesus might say, okay, I'm out. I don't know.
It's possible.
Or that's what Negan was hoping. I'm not sure.
It's possible. And the beautiful thing about that ending is we won't know for another month.
Oh. No, that was great. So that was my number 1. And Rick, the last panel with Rick just so angry, and glaring. I swear I don't even think he was angry at Negan. I think he was just going, Gregory.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh, such a coward,
He is. He's such a coward.
Yes. So I assume will die just a painful death. I'm hoping it's at the hand of Maggie,
And I do really hope to see Maggie again. I feel like we have a little bit of hope that we will see her, and eventually she and her and Glenn's baby is going. How far along do you think she is?
Oh, not very far along.
No,
she's not even. I don't think she's even showing yet. But I think she's at the hilltop for a reason. So I'm hoping she's going to rally the people and
there you go.
Get it all taken care of. And I'm hoping Sutton, the blacksmith. I'm hoping he's by her side. I really liked him for some reason.
Two other little stray observations. I think we both covered our top three. I mean, like I said, I just love that double page splash of everybody lined up and the blam blam. But two little quick observations I liked was, one, we actually see Rick with his shirt off at one point, and I like that they still kept the gunshot wound from the prison.
You can see his scars
in his belly. I liked that, and I love that Eugene is in fact producing a assload of bullets.
It was so nice to see Eugene. Cool. We have not seen him in a while.
Yeah. The guy, he's been busy. And he's doing something.
He's busy. He's trimmed down. I mean,
Oh, you're right. He is still trimmed down. I didn't even notice.
He's trimmed down.
So I think that about covers it for this issue. What we are hoping to do in the future was that we want to get some feedback from everybody and hope that you let us know what parts of this you like, what parts of it you don't, what you want us to go more into. I would in the future like to maybe each time we do this, go into an individual character or an individual situation that we can dig into a little deeper. This time around, we decided to forego some of those, and we'll probably get a little more structure later on as it goes. Does that sound about right to you?
Sounds good to me.
Cool. Also, another thing that we were thinking about doing later on down the road are maybe giving some other comic recommendations. Grace actually just turned me on to a great new book, Revival. I'm about halfway through that first trade, and I'm really digging it. So that's a good
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, that's a good one. But we'll deal with that maybe in another one. So that's it, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the news segment.
Okay, if you have any feedback, feel free to email or call in, and Jason will forward it along. And now, back to the Walking Dead cast.
Okay, thanks a lot to Mr. Blog and Grace. I thought that was really great, and I want to let you guys know that both Gracie Lou and Mr. Blog will be at Walker Stalker Con.
Can't wait to see him.
Yeah. All right, it's time for next week on The Walking Dead. This is just going to be a little kind of broad summary of what's happening next week. So if you don't want to hear that, you should skip ahead to the next section.
Next week on The Walking Dead, the description is, as the group faces a brand new enemy, Rick and the others must fight to protect the livelihood they worked so hard to create at the prison. I bet I know what that brand new enemy is, and I bet he wears Harry Potter glasses. Just saying. The episode is directed by Guy Ferland, and it's written by Angela Kang. Both of these guys have written and directed plenty of shows before. They're old hands at this Walking Dead thing, and I can't wait to see it. I did see 2 video sneak peeks. One was on The Talking Dead, and it's the very first little tidbit of next week's episode. So if you don't want to know, skip ahead. It shows somebody feeding the zombies rats through the fence. Yuck. And the other one is Rick and Carl feeding the piglets. And all of a sudden, somebody announces zombies in Cell Block D. But we already know that. So should be a good at walkingdeadcast.tumblr.com and on Facebook at facebook.com/deadcast.
And don't forget to look for Raylan's recapitations, recapping and her opinions on the latest episode. That should be up at walkingdeadcast.com. And if you want to help us win a podcast award, if you're hearing this Tuesday night, it's your last chance to do it. So go to podcastawards.com and nominate us in the entertainment and best produced category. Or if you hate us, you could go there and nominate somebody else.
Yeah, but you're not that mean.
You're not like that.
I know you.
Maybe Jobu too, but nobody else.
Yeah, that's probably true.